Okay, please correct me if I'm wrong, but hasn't PR been around almost as long as Hollywood's been around? PR teams, right? And managers and publicists, and then also like crisis management teams have been around for a long time. Isn't their job to make their client look good? So what I'm having a hard time believing is, yes, maybe Justin's team was putting out positive stories about Justin, right? Like maybe they were pumping out stories. Maybe they were doing that to counter Blake's own actions, right? So what I'm having a hard time believing, in Blake's own words, is that they started the smear campaign and did an astroturfing on her because she was reporting misconduct in SH. But she never was saying that all in the public or anything. Like during this whole time that was going on, it was only because she was taking control of the film. She was really marketing in an awful way. The public was turning against her and creating all of their own narrative and stories. So he countered that. It wasn't because she spoke up about SH 8 months ago or misconduct a year and a half before. Like that's where I'm just trying to like piece together her logic here. And if someone could please help me out, because I'm having a really hard time believing this part of the story, of the narrative, that it's because of her speaking out, because she didn't speak up once about misconduct or being violated or anything on set. It was very light and happy, her whole press tour. So I'm just having a hard time like piecing those two things together and believing that's why. Do you know what I'm saying? I feel like the way that they explain this first text message from Justin Baldoni is very skewed in actually what happened. They're trying to say that like he didn't feel protective and was going on the attack, but when I read this text, I feel like he's saying that like he's in defense mode and that the team is preparing in case she goes forward, and he's not feeling like, he's just feeling like that's concerning. It just says here, yeah, it just feels very much like there is not much defense, which means he's saying that it feels like they're on the attack instead of on the defense in case she goes forward, and that they feel very strong like she's going to do something just a bit concerning what everyone originally thought. So to me, that seems like he's saying like, hey, it just looks like we're not on the defense, like we should be ready in case, and that they were coming out with a plan. So to me, that, I don't know. I'm just reading it a bit different though, maybe. But yeah, of course, if you kind of think that this woman literally pulled the rug from under you, which she has claimed that she likes to do, and that some people might feel like it's, weird that when she comes on, she takes control of all these things that she wasn't hired to do. Then she took the edit. He didn't even get to see the edit of the film. Then she had him in the freaking basement. Yeah, like there's going to be a plan in motion to see how much further you're going to take this. And it's not about you speaking up 8 months prior. It's about your current actions now and how the public is receiving you now. So what are you going to do to make the public back in your favor? They have to be ready if you come out, right? I mean, I think any normal person would be gearing themselves to what Blake Lively is going to do once more, since she's already done all of these other things. It's all going into the text messages now, which were illegally obtained by Stephanie motherfucking Jones, who took Jennifer Abel's phone and gave them to the Blake Lively camp, even though Blake said that she subpoenaed the records. Please. And this one is actually very funny because they're saying that, the tides are turning. It was the day after the thing. They bring in Jed Wallace again, saying that they have texts between Jennifer Abel and Melissa Nathan saying that Jed Wallace was putting stories out there. It'll be interesting to see what stories he put out there. Again, it's PR. But then they show these texts and it says, I know, well, first it was like, it's actually sad because it just shows you how people really want to hate on women. Nice text to put in there, Blake. But then it says, I know it is sad, but then like, don't be a cunt. She effed herself by doing the unfollow thing and insisting no photos together. Yeah. It was weird. Like, as soon as people see that you unfollow him, and then they piece it together, but wait, they weren't even together at the premiere. But wait, they haven't taken any photos together. But yeah, and then people pieced it together themselves, you know? But yeah, I mean, then don't be a cunt. Like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. It's kind of funny. It does say that in August, they did ask Justin to make an apology letter. We also know that in September, her and Ryan also wrote a statement for him to write, which they both declined. But then, I mean, they must just think that content creators are stupid. Honestly, this is what I'm getting from this paragraph. As their own words reveal, the purpose of this social manipulation plan was twofold. It aimed to both conceal the pattern of harassment and other misconduct by Mr. Baldoni, Mr. Heath, and Wayfair, and retaliate against Miss Lively by battering her image, harming her business, and causing her and her family severe emotional harm. Millions of people, including many reporters and influencers who saw these planted stories, social media posts, and other online content, had no idea they were unwitting consumers of a crisis PR, astroturfing, and digital retaliation campaign created and funded by Mr. Baldoni and Wayfair to hurt Miss Lively. This is precisely the goal of an astroturfing campaign, to light the fire and continue to stoke the conversation secretly, blurring the line between authentic and manufactured content and creating viral public takedowns. I would love to see any content creator come out who was blasting Lively in August, September, who was paid by Justin. Because the content creators I followed, as well as my own videos made in August, was me organically thinking, critical thinking, piecing things together. By Blake's own admission of having Ryan write on the set, I was like, heck no. I didn't have to read any other articles that were coming out. I didn't follow some PR thing. I pieced it together myself and was like, that's wrong. When I saw Ryan and Hugh doing PR for It Ends With Us, I was like, what is going on? When I saw Ryan Reynolds doing PR about being a jealous husband to Blake's co-star, I was like, what the frig is happening? I didn't need anyone else to piece that together for me to know that it was absolutely tone deaf and completely out of touch. Yeah, and then she goes on to say that some of the cast and some people were getting bullied, and they went to Miss Lively to see if she can help them and how she can deal with this harassment and cyberbullying. That's the internet, okay? Like, unfortunately, like, even while covering this story, I have got so much. Like, if you're on the, like, that's the, it sucks. It's horrible. I've seen some of my favorite content creators on here get bullied. I see one of my favorite content creators on here who's always getting backlash from people. It's like she can't do any right. She can't do any good, even though she seems like the most loveliest, soulful person and gives so much. She's always has people attacking her. Like, that doesn't, I'm not piecing it together to where that's Justin's fault, that they were doing DV a disservice and taking it lightly, and people started to, attack a little bit. This is very interesting. She's saying that Miss Lively sent a cease and a desist letter to the defendants on December 20th, 2024, including with it a copy of her administrative complaint filed with the California Civil Rights Department, her CRD, December 20th. Upon receiving the cease and desist letter, defendants leaked the complaint to certain hand-selected publications to get ahead of it, gave numerous statements to the press, including blatantly false and defamatory factual allegations, and began a near-daily media and social media blitz aimed to discrediting Miss Lively's long-term publicist, Ryan Reynolds, Disney, and the New York Times, and more. On information and beliefs, all defendants actively participated in this enhanced retaliation campaign.